Hi there, and welcome back to the Front Range. I am the dad, and I am old. My usual co-pilot, my daughter, who is young, will not be with me today as she had some prior engagements. However, I will be doing a reaction solo to the new Harry Potter trailer. Now, controversial, I know. This series coming out, kind of pros and cons, right? Pros, at least HBO is doing it. HBO has a history of being really solid with series. I mean, you look back Sopranos, The Wire, Deadwood. I mean, so many others, so many great shows, right? I get it. I get that touching these films to some people feels sacrilegious. I am giving it the benefit of the doubt. I know that they're going to go more in depth into the books, and so that's a positive. However, my one concern, and I've seen a lot of stills, and this is my concern. It looks like a remake of the movies. Visually, so much of it looks almost exactly what we saw in the films, and that's you want to see a reimagining. If they're going to do this with some films that are held in such high regard in many quarters, you have to do a reimagine. You can't just visually it just looks so much in the still. So I'm just hoping that maybe that was a little misleading, that it is something that will ultimately look and feel different from the other films by diving further into the books. So fingers crossed on that. And again, I am of the mind there are certain films I do feel are kind of sacrosanct, like you just don't remake them. Um, Lord of the Rings trilogy in particular, I just don't think you can go back to those books and remake those films. I think that what Peter Jackson did in that case was just he captured so much magic, used so many practical effects of the era, and we've seen with Rings of Power, people have different opinions about it, but when you go so much harder in CGI, it changes the texture of the storytelling of Tolkien, and I mean, those are films, for example. I have others, but like that's one. So I don't want to talk too much longer. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, I believe, is what it's called. This is the official teaser for the trailer for the show. Let's get into it.
I told you. You are a normal boy,
Our new Harry.
and you're going to start acting like one.
A little more physical with the bullying.
You think you're something special? There is nothing special about you.
I've always wanted to know about my parents.
Your parents were the kindest, bravest people I ever met.
I do have
They were
goosebumps.
funny and clever. And they stood up for what they believed was right. The next time I see you, we'll be in Hogwarts.
Weasleys. Back to Hogwarts.
Mr. Potter, I think we can expect great things from you. Let's see who you are.
It's Leviosa.
Are you really Harry Potter?
Christmas. All right, so let me get my thoughts together a second. So the emotion of Harry Potter, like it's hard to avoid jumping back into that world, right? Like those films stretched, you know, over so many years, and add in the books as well. And there is a magic to those films and to those books that revisiting that world, like just that experience of that, right away it got me emotional. Like the like I said, I got goosebumps. I mean, my eyes kind of tear up. My eyes tear up over like everything, like anything emotional, good, bad, whatever. Like that's just kind of the way I am, especially with film or anything like that. Initial observations, yes, a lot of it looks very similar. Now, some might make the argument, well, they're just doing what's described in the books, but you have two people read the same book, and what they're picturing is not going to be the same. So, still have some concerns there. Clearly, there's a little bit of a harder edge to the abuse that Harry is taking. I feel like in the films, I mean, it was abuse, but it felt like it was kind of an emotional abuse for the most part. This is almost like getting into where you see some physical abuse, which is an interesting take, and I'm not, again, for or against it. I'm curious to see it, to see how they've done that, but that is definitely, it looks like a different take or different tact that they're taking with that. The casting, for the most part, I know some of the established actors, particularly John Lithgow, which I actually love that casting. He, famously the Harry Potter films didn't really cast American actors. So putting an American actor in a position of such prominence within these books, within the series, that's definitely a departure. But he's somebody that, I mean, name me a John Lithgow performance that was not absolutely solid. And if you go back, if you ever get a chance to watch Buckaroo Banzai from years ago, Gen Xers know that film, with Peter Weller as well, and a young Jeff Goldblum, and so many other actors that were, you see them in there and you're just kind of blown away that they were there. John Lithgow just always delivers. So excited about that. They didn't give us too much, but again, we kind of know the story. So I'm really hoping, they are only going to show us things that we're familiar with in the trailers. And then once we get into the show, they're going to really get us kind of into a different interpretation of the same world. So, they gave us quite a bit in that first teaser trailer. Again, it's hard for me to separate the emotion of jumping back into the world of Hogwarts and Harry Potter with a complete analysis on what's just a teaser trailer. So certainly once the show comes out, we'll do reactions to the show, and I guess we'll see what we see. I would estimate there'll be, at least one other trailer. If you're talking to Christmas, I would think at least a couple more. Although I don't want them to divulge too much. I'm never one who wants so many trailers, and really expansive trailers that give away so much. I like it more where they just kind of, give you a tone and a tenor maybe, and just a little taste, not a full meal. Like, it just should be the appetizer. So anyways, let me know what you think. Put it down in the comments, what your expectations are, how you feel about the trailer, how you feel about them remaking Harry Potter. All those are valid. And then, just on a personal note, we're always so thankful for anyone that comes by and watches us. Like, share, subscribe, all those things. We're a new channel. We're trying to get, out into more people's algorithms. So the subscribe in particular, you just hit that button down below. It doesn't cost you anything. We're going to have a ton of content. We've been working really hard, and we're going to work even harder to get more stuff out there. So, again, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.